Hey, yo, check this out.
Yeah, you. Nasty nose.
Yo, man, yeah, terrible.
Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
Do we think that Bishop Lamont's hand was possessed?
Fam,
No.
possessed.
No. You don't think that was
He
possible?
made a mistake.
His hand was all over the fucking place. Like his shit was wilding.
Aaron-
No,
Like,
man. He was like Stevie
I'm just
Wonder's
saying,
on the
I'm
board,
just saying.
man. You saw
Chill.
them fingers go?
Stevie Wonder definitely knows how to see.
All,
You ain't see him catch the mic?
yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Nah, he got like Sixth Sense or something.
Boom, man, caught it here. Pick that
Yeah,
up.
Stevie Wonder's different. Stevie Wonder make
because
make
he
it get a
wouldn't have
pass.
because he wouldn't have done the side one. He
Man,
would have gone full
Ariana
growth.
Grande is like
Stevie Wonder
5
don't
feet.
miss.
She's like 5 feet, 88 pounds, man.
All right, but check this out. Was I the only person that thought the Grande Taco Bell joke that was funny? No.
It was
I
a
thought it was
joke.
funny,
It
and I
was a
apologize
joke.
for it.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
It was a.
You know what? For my Latin people, I'm just gonna say no.
I'm Hispanic, and I don't think he should apologize for that.
That's an old black man joke.
I thought it was funny. I
Yeah.
actually thought that he was catching flack for that because of that line. And then when I actually read the shit, I was like, oh, he's got wandering hands. So I was like, okay, I see what's happening here.
Don't
I
act like
didn't know.
Yeah, you never been to a Baptist church?
Oh man! All right, before we get into it, Grassroots Podcast, Brandon, Killabh BHL,
Erin Ashley Simon.
Flex Luger.
fam,
Stupid.
your arm didn't even move. Like it wasn't even like a bubble on your shit or nothing. Your arms are trash. And we have a guest joining the episode today, our rooted episode. You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Jan Sneed, otherwise known as Jan Blaze on social media. I'm the Dinnerland editor-in-chief. I'm also the manager of communications and digital strategy at a nonprofit, but I don't want to disclose that name.
Damn, you corny.
No, I don't want to mix those. Like my music world and nonprofit is two completely different worlds. I
No,
don't
she
want
lying.
to.
She works in the CIA.
AKA, we like to give full disclosure. AKA, she's like Ghost. She doesn't want you to know that she's really a drug dealer.
Why you want to know where I work? Why you want?
Yeah, she's one of those. She's like, I work for nonprofits, but we don't disclose that information. Wink, wink. That's fine. All right, so let's get back to the shits.
Yes.
The nasty he's got to get the nasty pastor award. He's disgusting. Like when you think about
Well,
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's plenty of nasty pastor awards going out
it.
there
Yeah,
these
word.
days.
It really is.
Yo.
But his shit was like, he wasn't even smooth with. He's like,
Yeah, he was mad obvious.
and he was mad rough. Did you see her face though? She was kind of like, weirdo. Like
Nah,
you're making me uncomfortable.
man. He honestly, like, he was looking like when you know how, like, in middle school, I'm sure you guys know, in middle school when you're going to movies with a girl, you put your arm around, and you're just awkwardly there, and you're trying to figure out if you should grab it fully or not. Like, that's what he was looking at.
What's the limit? What's
Yeah.
He's like, I
the
don't
no
know
zone?
how much, or first of all,
zone?
he shouldn't have done it at all.
Yeah.
But he was literally trying to figure out how much is too much.
Yeah, no,
Like-
Y'all act like y'all never been to a church, a Baptist church before.
I've never seen that at my Baptist church.
yeah, I've never seen
What
that.
kind of
like,
churches you go to?
Yeah,
Hold on.
I'm looking at you crazy right now. You better clarify right now. My
Never been to church and you just grabbed your boob. What kind of church is
I've
that?
never seen
I
that.
don't have boobs for people to grab.
That is for another discussion for another day.
Let's see them.
Let's stay on track.
But I'm saying, hold on, older gentlemen when they see women, that's a thing, man.
That is a thing. I know what he's saying. Most older people, they grab you a certain way.
Yeah, but they don't grab your like.
He didn't mean to grab her them
Fam.
titties.
No.
Yeah.
That nigga's hand was
Listen,
like this over here.
Yes.
First of all,
He was playing like Beethoven on them. It's just like
he was playing the fucking flute on her titties.
fam,
He
fam.
was wilding.
Fam,
He
she
was
had-
playing the
she
guitar
had-
on her
she-
shit.
She
Like,
don't have titties. She has breast. Those
Well-
ain't titties.
well, all right. Well, here goes nasty.
Oh my
No,
god!
it never fails.
Wait,
Nasty.
so
Well,
you
no, I'm
have
not-
breasts, but you have titties then?
No, I don't have titties. I'm saying hers
This is
wasn't
getting
big enough
awkward.
to be.
This is getting awkward. This is getting. Can we
okay.
stop? This is getting awkward.
Thank you.
I hear what you're saying. But
It's just a
no.
whack joke, but you get it.
It's just boobs.
Don't support this. Don't please. When you leave, we have to deal with this. When you leave, all right. Let's just. You know what I
I get
mean?
what I'm saying, man. He ain't mean to do that, man. Y'all making a big deal. He's apologizing for what?
So here's my thing, though. This is my only thing. Let's go with the theory of he didn't mean it. Let's say his hand was possessed by Satan in the Lord's house.
Exorcist.
Exorcist in his hand, right? Why is he apologizing? Why didn't he just say, "Hey, listen, I didn't. That's not what was intended."
Because the PC police are like, oh, look at his hand, look at his hand.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if that's when you apologize for something, that implies that you did it.
Yeah.
I'm not apologizing for shit I ain't do.
yeah,
No,
I'm rolling.
No.
I'm rolling.
Nah.
That's like you walk out of a bank and fucking the cops are outside and they like, yo, you robbed the bank. You like, I'll give the money back, even though you went to go make a deposit.
That is not the same at all.
It is. It's the
is
concept of apologizing
It's
for something.
apologizing for something that you did not
Yeah.
do. You had nothing. You didn't do it.
So this is the PC police. This is look at his hand. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do
Would
anything
you,
wrong.
Nasty Nas? Would you apologize for quote unquote groping a woman when you didn't?
No, first of all,
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got him. That's what you call a corner, ladies.
Do you
and
know what a
gentlemen.
grope is?
Bishop Lamont. Nigga, what you
Okay,
mean?
all right, fine.
That's not a grope.
Since he wants to get all logistical over here, dictionary Nas, he copped a field.
I wouldn't say he did that.
Oh,
Fam,
my
That is,
God.
oh
Did
my
you watch
gosh.
the
If
video?
you wanna-
Yeah, I watched the video. Yeah, I watched the
close that
video.
video?
Okay, not even that. Ready? If you're a married man, are you gonna hold a woman that way that you don't know?
If it's me, no, I
I
wouldn't.
ain't
do
gonna
that.
lie.
Exactly. Then if you're not gonna do it, then what?
But I
makes it
wouldn't.
think it's
I'm
right
not
for him?
bringing. But
It
but y'all
depends on
know
what
I'm not a
woman.
hugger. I'm not a hugger to begin with.
Never mind. Don't listen to
If
me.
you're married, you shouldn't be doing none of that.
Don't listen to me.
I'm not a hugger to begin with.
Well, you have other issues. We're not talking about. I'm talking about.
You were dropped on your
yeah,
head.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
This is
strictly-
facts.
I'm talking about strictly just this interaction. You can see it right here, even right here. His hand looks crazy. It's
And he
mad
keeps
up.
moving it.
And yeah,
He keeps moving and adjusting
I
it.
would roll with you if his hand wasn't playing the guitar on her side. Like he was grabbing imaginary strings. He was wilding.
He was plucking them strings finger by finger.
He was
Bum,
wilding.
bum, 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 bum.
You know what? I'm gonna take the 1% out of the 99 that's probably agreeing with you guys.
Oh, my
Okay.
goodness.
Ariana should have been wearing that.
Oh, okay.
Ladies,
Okay.
we've had this discussion before.
Shit, that's funeral appropriate?
We've had
Okay,
this
but
discussion.
what does that have to do with
before.
what he's doing with his hand?
Talk your shit, yawn.
Nothing. I'm trying to get out this corner.
Nope. You got yourself in it.
Yeah, you want to play devil's
I
advocate.
ain't gonna even say anything. I'm just gonna leave it one-on-one.
On a serious note,
Yeah.
I don't
Brandon
think
and I are
what
just
he
here.
Yeah,
I don't
take
think what
them
he
out,
did.
yeah.
I don't think what he did is considered groping. If she's uncomfortable, then he should apologize for making her feel uncomfortable. But I don't think that I don't think he was purposely. His intention was to grope her.
But his hand was moving.
You got to put them.
multiple times. Like it wasn't like a quick, oh, okay, my bad. It was like that was a lot.
No, I understand, but I still don't think his intention was let me go for her titty. I think,
But you
breast,
can feel that
yeah.
though. What is that? So she has a real.
He's
squishy
in the middle of
side?
giving
Like, I don't know.
he's talking. He's up there. He's a Baptist preacher. He's up in the middle of giving a soliloquy, and he's trying to show emotion.
Spell soliloquy.
S-O.
I didn't really want you to. Fucking dick.
The biggest,
I think I still got it wrong.
The biggest question though is, do you think Bill said anything to him after?
Yeah, Bill was probably like, you got to put the
Fam.
pill in the pot. Bill was think about it. If Bill had to mentor fucking Bishop, that would have went completely different.
What y'all, Clinton?
No, I'm talking about, we didn't even get to Clinton yet. I'm not.
Oh, I was talking about Clinton, but
I'm not mad.
I thought I heard pill.
No, I'm talking about Pill. I said, imagine if Bill Cosby had to give, how this would work.
Well, she's not making it to the stage.
Yeah,
she's not making it out of the green room.
Now, Bill, on the other hand, I think Bill was just keeping it 1,000. I think he was keeping it a buck. He's got Ariana Grande in front of him.
Center stage.
Like,
He's 70, 80 years old, heterosexual male.
and he's black.
Why?
Bill Clinton's black.
Why?
Come on.
Why?
okay.
Monica Lewinsky.
Because the infidelity makes him a black man. I'm not rolling.
He was the first.
I'm not rolling. Miss me with that shit. Because he's.
But now his eyes were excited. He was
he's
like,
a
yeah.
heterosexual- Yeah, I'm gonna leave you out.
He
there.
was like, yeah. Bill's like, I got my Viagra today.
He's a heterosexual man. She's center stage, and look at Bill. Look at what is he supposed to look?
No, but my thing is, when you were the president, you had everything. You had everything that you wanted at your hand. He looked like he was a little boy looking at some Playboy magazines. Like, he got that excited when he saw it. He was like, oh.
Damn.
Maybe
He's 70.
Yeah, but maybe he is a fan of her music. He could be.
First of all, he's
He got
70,
excited.
and yeah, she's like 20 something. What is he
How
supposed to look?
old is she?
That's a great question.
I think she's older.
Like
Chris,
20,
look that up.
She's in her
24,
20s.
24, 25.
If she's in her,
I know Pete Davidson is like 25. So she's like 20, 25.
Oh,
25.
Yes, like I said, she's like 25.
Just made the cut, boy.
Just made the cut.
That would 25. You're a fucking adult.
Just made the. Yeah.
I'm saying you're an adult, meaning I'm saying in the sense of adult. She's 25. If she was younger than that, I'm looking at this completely
Man,
different.
I don't think
She's
25 is adult.
Where is he supposed to look? Somebody tell me where he's supposed to look.
Fam, if Bill, all right,
At the ground.
Yeah, he's going to say, oh shit, Aaron, she's 20. Let me
I'm
look.
rolling, but just think, just.
Oh, it's a beautiful
He did
song.
for other women. He did for other women though. He was like,
oh, come on, man.
This is all
Y'all
I'm
killing
saying.
him.
If that's a younger girl, and he's looking the way the Black Twitter and the internet is making him out to look, it turns to something else. No, am I the only one that's on this island right now?
I'm not, no, man. 'Cause where's he supposed to look?
at
It's
God.
not. You're missing my point. What I'm saying is
And he's
the
saying that's the
way.
Jesse Jackson who's probably cracking jokes.
I'm saying the way. Yeah, I got. Remind me. I'm gonna send y'all the video that I saw that was hysterically funny.
they cracking joke. They know each other, what, 20 years, 25 years
Yeah.
at least. Yo, yeah, you right. You right.
Wow.
And then
that's
when
how
I
they
catch
talk?
me smiling,
I don't know. I don't even know what talks
To
like
that
that.
Muppet song
yeah.
thing.
I don't know what they were saying.
Now I just started saying some other shit. That's some old people
Yo,
shit.
man.
All right.
Like I'm the crazy one, right?
Leave them titties alone. That's the most
Yeah.
important thing. PSA.
Put them titties
Put
away.
them titties away.
them titties away.
Thank you. Put them titties away at the
Listen.
funeral.
Including men too.
Oh man. All right. So Fox News is still out here fucking shit up. I saw this and I was bothered by it for a number of reasons. So Cosby Show star, former star, I guess,
Yeah.
Geoffrey Owens was spotted in what was it like Trader Joe's in Jersey. Shout out to Jersey. And they shamed him for it.
For having a damn job.
That's what I got from that. It says the headline was let me read the stupid ass headline that got me all annoyed and shit. It says Cosby Show actor Geoffrey Owens spotted bagging groceries at New Jersey Trader Joe's. Cosby Show alum, his name again, who played Elvin, you the doctor who married in the
Remember
Cosby
Elvin?
Show, is now bagging groceries in a Trader Joe's in Jersey.
Well,
Okay, my first concern is why is this even Fox News? Like, this is like
That-
gossip.
Slow news day. Slow news day.
yeah,
Number one.
trying to bring him down.
That's my thing. Number two, like, I'd rather this than him being poor. I'd rather this than him being on trial for some crazy shit. Why are we crucifying this guy for having a job?
First of all, you think that's fucked up. Why the hell does USA Today have Fox News under fire for trying to shame former Cosby Show actor, but they got a photo of Bill on there?
Damn.
Clickbait.
Yo,
saying?
what the fuck, man?
You know why he's at Trader Joe's? Because they took the Cosby Show off the air, so his residual checks have stopped.
No, I don't even think it's that. I just think that,
He was still working them.
yeah, like, I don't. I think people get too wrapped up into like this celebrity
Yeah,
life, this stigmatism of once you hit it big, you can't go get a job. Like, God forbid you go actually still want to go make an income. You have to go.
I think one thing I'm starting to see though, like a trend is people are shaming the type of jobs you have, or whether you have a 9 to 5 or not.
Yeah,
whether you quit,
like-
whether you're an entrepreneur, like that's starting to become a trend lately. So I can see why they think this is news per se. I don't agree with it, but this is like a trend lately. Like I see this all the time. Somebody just tweeted, I think OG Mako, one of them niggas was like, if you can't chase your dreams and have a job because one of them isn't gonna work or some shit like that. It's just like how, like what?
In what world are these kids living
That's
in?
what I'm saying.
It's like a trend now.
I just feel like people get so caught up into social media, into these facades that people look up to or aspire to be, and miss reality.
I don't even say that. I think people are so caught up into themselves to give a shit about anything else outside. Like, people think that, like, especially on social media, they think that their opinion matters the most. And if anyone has another opinion, that they're completely wrong, or they're like, something's wrong with you, or fuck you, or something. I think people are just think that their way is the right way and no other way is. I also think that, let's keep it a buck, Black people are clickbaits. Every media company does
Especially
this.
in this
Not
day and
Fox.
age. Yeah.
CNN does this. All of them do this. Anything that deals with a black person, they're gonna use because it's clickbait. Black
So if
people
that's
are
the
trending.
case, I don't understand why they're not covering the prison strike. That's black people.
Yeah, but it's positive,
positive
black
shit.
people.
It's
They don't
positive.
want that. They want things that have that feed into the typical stereotypes that they've especially shown. Because remember, Fox News is one of those platforms that most of the arrests that they showed on TV were mostly black people.
Yeah.
But then even that, the way they operate, you could easily frame that prison strike and turn it into some negative shit. That's all they always do anyway.
Yeah, but the difference is with the prison strike shit is that there's so much going on with it and so much people have eyes on it. It'd be risky. You'd be now sacrificing your credentials as a reporter.
And they just got torn apart by when Aretha died. They had
Patti LaBelle.
They had Patti LaBelle on it instead of Aretha. I'm like,
Why they
what?
hire black writers.
But that's my point. Like, what's happening in the world that
'Cause
y'all just keep dropping the ball?
Because somebody say, who's that? The old black singer.
Yeah.
The old black
yeah,
woman.
yeah.
Patti LaBelle. Oh yeah, it was Patti LaBelle.
It's a
Yeah, put that
goddamn
one up there.
shame. Listen, shout out to Geoffrey Owens. He got a job.
Word.
I'm happy to see him doing well.
Yeah.
You know, things could be worse. And I just think that shit was corny where I saw, and I did like, though, this is the one time I did see where mad people on just social media, they
Defended
kept
him.
sharing the same thing and defending that. And I thought that was really, really dope where you didn't see people bashing him and you know what I'm saying? Anyone at least that has common sense because you know that shit ain't common. But
You know why it's smart what he's doing? Because he has consistent health care that he doesn't have to worry about.
Yeah.
If you have a job where you don't know where your next paycheck is, you can't, healthcare and things like that, it's expensive. So at least he has, knowing that his Trader Joe's job, it may not pay for everything, may not pay for every single bill, but at least his healthcare and certain things will be set. So he doesn't have to worry about that. He just
Yeah,
has to worry about the
definitely.
phone bills and stuff. So that's smart. And I think that kind of goes back to I think people always want to give their opinions on stuff when it's like you really don't have the right to give an opinion on it. If you never have done acting, if you never have gone out of a 9 to 5, you shouldn't be saying anything because
Yeah.
you don't know. You've never experienced those things at all. I just feel like there's certain times where people don't have the right to say stuff and they shouldn't be saying anything.
I agree.
What if he's just bored at home?
I was gonna say that. I feel like some people, why is there this assumption that he's broke and that's why he's working there? Like maybe he just wanted to
Yeah,
work there.
Trader Joe's is good food.
Well, that too. But that was my thing too.
Yeah, so it was just like,
he could easily just have a pickup job.
Exactly.
Like you don't have to.
I don't wanna be at
even
home
though
all day.
If I'm keeping it a buck, whoever took the picture, this is probably like he looks like one of them niggas that turned around like, yo, what you like? He looked like he's
She
one of
probably
those.
asked him a question like, "Yo, is it you?"
Yeah,
What?
And he looks
Where's
like
the ketchup?
he looks like one of the employees though that will turn around and spaz the fuck out. Like he turned around like, "I'll 5, nigga." He looked like that in his picture. So
Yo,
I will say that he looked like he was not with the shits. He turns around straight like, "Hey, what you say?" Like,
you know what happened? He dead asked them paper or bag, and they just said, "I don't know which one." He's like, "Yo, motherfucker,
Yeah, word.
pick one."
he looked like they said, "Yo, $5 for extra guac." He's like, $5. Like he just looked like he was upset. Man, I ain't gonna lie, but I am happy he's doing well. That's really good. Shout out to him.
Yeah. I'm looking, these. Oh, side note, when he was like health insurance.
Yeah,
A lot of these young cats don't care because they think they're invincible. That's why the STD rate is going up.
yeah, that's true.
A lot of these niggas got clapped.
When last time you got shot?
Fam, I'm married.
Okay. All right.
I'm married.
On to more pressing issues. On to more pressing.
When's the last time
issues.
you got checked?
I
The only clap he gets is a round of applause.
Hey, hey,
Fuck that assist. Fuck that assist.
I fuck with E. She be getting you out of here. This is the greatest thing ever. Oh man. All right. I guess it's the moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen.
Dun, dun, dun.
How are we feeling about Kamikaze, Eminem's latest release project?
Okay, so before I get into my thoughts, for people who don't know what Kamikaze is, it's not just an album name or cover, but so Kamikaze goes back to World War II. Japan, essentially, towards the end or closer to the end of World War II, they realized, shit, shit's not gonna work out. The Allied forces are coming.
Right.
And so what they did was they created these kamikazes, or what they're called, for last line of defense. Basically, kamikazes, they were pilots that they flew in planes that had built-in bombs for the purpose of doing what they said is called body attacks. Essentially, they said, fuck your couch, we're gonna fly into your ships and do as much damage, because the conventional tactics that they had didn't work. So they thought, okay, well, let's go the unconventional way. They thought that this would be more effective. There's still disputes about how effective they are or not. But obviously, they lost.
These are Hail Marys.
It was Hail Marys, but also, interestingly enough, it was a lot of like young people between like 17 and 24, and people who they had to honor their families, and most of them obviously didn't survive. But then also, there's disputes saying that it was effective in Okinawa, and then some places said that it was like 19% effective. So this project literally felt like Eminem went into one of those planes and tried to fly that shit into a ship full of celebs and rappers and media people for the purpose of making it irreparable damage and impact.
Yeah.
I just think, I think his plane got shot down before it hit that ship.
I think I'm rolling with you.
Yeah, I'm really.
I think let's just examine this first. Let's do a brief timeline of sorts, right? So what is it? Revival comes out 12, 15, 17. Then we have a slew of criticism for this album. You have Everyday Struggle, you have Charlamagne's review, you have Joe's review on his podcast and on Everyday Struggle, and then you have just Tyler Creator making comments about it. A number of people made comments about this body of work. You then have, obviously, the Kamikaze album just drops, and he's targeting all of these people, and then also targeting all of the littles, right?
Lil Wayne's kids.
Yeah, all of the littles are catching fire here. Number one, do we think it's a coincidence that he's targeting nothing but SEO people, SEO friendly people, and for those that don't know, it's search engine optimization.
I was definitely lost.
All right, here's my history lesson for this. So he's targeting trending people right now that are he's targeted clickbait people that if you put them in a title or in something associated with your music, you're gonna come up when their name is searched.
And then also what he's doing too is he's also trying to have his own project name or even like the links to it rank higher. So essentially SEO, what everyone does is they want to rank high for a short form or short term keyword. So let's just say that keyword is Joe Budden. So if they're going to do that for Joe Budden, they want to make sure that they put Joe, which is what he did in the song, then they want for people to be like, oh shit, he talked about Joe, or oh shit, he talked about Charlamagne. People are gonna Google that song, Charlamagne, that song, Joe Budden. And so it's gonna rank high if a high traffic of people are searching. It's gonna rank high for Joe Budden. It's gonna rank high for Kamikaze. That's why that first song, he literally fit everyone and their freaking grandmas in there.
Yeah.
What, the
Because
ringer?
yeah, so then it ranks that high. But then on top of that, it helps to rank Kamikaze as a whole higher, just because that song is associated when people are searching. People are gonna have that tag with that song too. So when people are doing YouTube videos, they're gonna say Kamikaze. They're gonna say Eminem Kamikaze, Charlamagne Kamikaze, and then the song. And so it collectively, he's just like he's trying to boost up his entire project from an SEO perspective by literally putting people's names and putting shit about people in almost every single song. Yeah. But more so a few singles and we're going to be touching on them, but he's trying to have those 3 tracks or 4 tracks pull the weight in terms of getting the attention to it.
Now, even this project, I just think the project is okay. I look at M right now as being in the same, I guess, situation as Nicki. And by this, I mean in the sense of you've proven yourself. I think the disconnect now is that fans want to see you grow. Like, you see how Hove every year or so, Hove manages to reinvent himself. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of the older artists that have done, obviously incredible things and have changed the course of rap history aren't elevating the way they should today in today's world. Like, I think that's why Nas caught a lot of flack with his flows on his album. I think that's why, while M is still sharp as steel lyrically, you don't get, there's no wow factor in this body of work that you would expect from Eminem. Like, he's not giving you something that is really just on a different level of sorts, where you're feeling like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's music is a feeling. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that while this project is he's lyrically still sharp, and there's something there where, for me personally, I don't like hearing I like my heroes to be heroes. Yeah. Like, you never see Superman complain about having to fight justice. You get him? Does that make sense?
Or different enemies.
Like, I like heroes to perform like heroes. Perform as if you have these powers, as if you're untouchable. Yeah. I don't want to hear Eminem complain about media. You're seasoned. That's where my comparison is with him and Nicki. Like, the both of you guys, and not to drag Nicki into this because we've talked a lot about it, but both of these acts are prominent acts, historical acts, legendary acts that are now trying to, I guess, defend themselves when they don't really need to defend themselves, but they feel like they need to just because music has changed.
That situation is twofold, right? I think sometimes these legendary acts or these stars, they're a little bit hypocritical because they talk about hip hop changing and acts changing with hip hop, but then you see some of these acts take more of a pop route with their music that it's like hip hop pop sound. I know that sounds crazy, whatever. I was like, wait, but that's literally what it sounds, because like some people are saying that Eminem went more pop sounding than he usually has. Mm-hmm. So for you, like for him, that's like he made that adjustment himself. Yeah. So I don't. If you are adjusting with the times too, and you're mad because you're not adjusting as quickly or it's effective than other people, that's a little bit of a problem. Another thing too is media kind of contribute to both Nicki and Eminem getting upset for these things. Media used to be traditional and have viewpoints that weren't driven by wanting to be friends with these artists or wanting to get these tickets and stuff like that. I feel like media has moved away to where it's like a popularity thing. It's like a clout thing.
I agree.
It's not about, let me be critical about your music. Because media has moved to that route, a lot of artists have gotten comfortable because they're cool with XXL. They invite them to the concerts. They give them free tickets. They give them sneakers and stuff. Yeah. And it's just kind of like they're like developing friendships with media. And then how would you feel if your friend then went and wrote and said, oh yeah, your work was a piece of trash?
Yeah. That'd be a real friend. That'd be a real friend.
No, but what I'm saying is some people, not everyone, but some people take it super personal. And that's what I feel like Nicki and Eminem are going through, is because they went through a certain period of time. I mean, granted, they did get criticism, but for the most part, they didn't really get media at times that were straight up honest and critical with them. Yeah. And especially like now, but I think like now you get personalities who haven't gone the traditional media route that aren't trying to be friends with them, and they don't like that. Yeah. But also that route is messing up media too. Like media right now is in such a weird space, but I really think that acts are starting to get upset because they try to build these relationships, or people try to build these relationships with these artists, and then they take it personal, or like I said, it's a clout thing. But then when they get criticized, it's such a big deal, even though like that's part of the game. Like
the other thing too, though, strategically speaking, M is following suit when it comes to using beef as a marketing ploy. Rappers do that.
Yeah, of course.
I just think I think this more so hurts him because of the people he's targeting. These are people that you're not gonna hear a response from. Lil Xan, Lil Xan, and the rest of these people are not going to aim shots
because they don't have bars.
Well, Lil Xan's deaf, not saying anything after his comment.
Tyler has bars,
he's not gonna go after Eminem.
but that's my point.
What about Joe Budden?
Oh, I would.
Joe's retired. He's not.
I wish.
He'll talk about it on the
right?
podcast.
Yeah, he'll
wish.
talk about it, but he's not responding. And at this point, if I'm Joe, I wouldn't respond either.
True.
For what? For what?
I would love to see it.
It's one of the things where I don't know. I just feel like I'm putting M in the rebrand basket. I'm putting Nicki in the rebrand basket. And there's a few other artists I think that just need to go back. And while I like the Surprise album, and I do think it's better than Revival, I just wish that the angle of it was different. I don't feel like M needs to do this. I don't feel like M needs to do the cliche things that artists do to pop. You know what I'm saying?
My thing too with this is if they're upset with the state of hip hop, then why don't they have the opportunity to do more? They have the opportunity to put certain acts on, like the Drake effect. Anyone that Drake touches, their notoriety goes up. They may not have the same notoriety as M, but if one of those acts, M, Nicki, or someone else, if they say, yo, that person is dope, everyone's gonna go check them out. There are dope. The thing is like my one of my problems is I understand from like a mainstream level like where certain acts are, but I also am like, yo, there's so many dope acts out there that can actually rap. You know, you have JID, even Rhapsody. Like you have dope people there. It's like if you don't like where things are going, then be the one to make the change. Support people who can actually rap if that's how you feel.
Well, the thing too, and M touches on this in the project, even speaks about D12 and how, you know, he feels bad that he couldn't push them. He's saying in the records like, yo, I can't be responsible for your career and my career. And I've heard a lot of artists say that. It's the same thing where, you know, most players don't make good coaches.
Yeah.
Great players.
Or great play. Yeah. Well,
Correct yourself.
You can say either or, but most players don't make good coaches and vice versa. I think this is a lot of artists struggle with that, where you're so focused on yourself. And I think M is at this point where he's focusing on trying to appease. He even in the bio, he said, I tried not to overthink this when he posted about the album. That sentence alone it kind of set me up for where this album was gonna go. I already knew like, all right, this is gonna be different, but I don't like that train of thought. Like that's too transparent for me.
Why?
I don't want to. I just told you about my superheroes.
Well, if I can interject real quick, okay, hold on. The Kamikaze album, right? I gave it like a 7.5 out of 10. Okay, I'm an Eminem fan. Mm-hmm. You're completely wrong about Superman 2. And just go read the new 52. He does hate fighting for justice. That's why they got rid of that. Anyway. I don't think he was trying to appease. I don't think he was trying to, have this strategical rollout. I think he was saying, I tried to show you growth on the Revival. Y'all wasn't feeling it. Let me reintroduce you to Slim Shady and attack everybody. That's his, in what, 2000 or 99 when the Marshall Mathers
99.
LP. Marshall Mathers LP came out. But you remember this, Brandon, when they would go at Eminem and say all he does is attack Britney Spears, all he does is attack the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. He doesn't go after real lyricists. Mm-hmm. Then he goes after Benzino and the Hangman 3 up in Boston. Then he goes after Ja Rule, and everybody's it's not fair. It's not a fair fight. I think he got tired of, all right, I tried to show you that I'm growing. I'm off of drugs. I had to raise my daughters. Here's my new album. Yeah, I wasn't feeling it. Now I'm gonna bring back Slim Shady. I like the album. It's a 7.5. I don't think it's a great album, but for the purpose, I think it was good.
I hear you, right?
There's a but there. I feel it.
There is a
However,
but there. There is a but there. There is a but there. When I look at my superheroes, I look at them as people that you don't get, like you make music and you save lives, right? In doing so, you don't worry about what the media says.
Well, see, that's why I disagree. I feel like the way we look up to celebrities, we don't feel as though they can have those type of flaws or feel those type of feelings. Like, everybody is going to be affected by that type of shit. You're getting criticized all the time. Like, I can't even imagine what their mentions look like. So it's like, while I understand your point as far as the superheroes, like, these are still people at the end of the day. It's me, it's you, it's him. So it's like, you cannot expect him to not feel some type of way. Same with Nikki. You can't expect her to not feel some type of way about being constantly attacked, about her lack of growth.
Do firemen complain about saving people out of burning buildings?
I don't know. Yeah,
they do.
You think so?
Why would you plug that up next to that when you know there's a fire can happen?
I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, like anything, even with this review, you know what you sign up for. No?
Yeah.
So why are we complaining? That's my point.
Well, also,
But also, firemen aren't being bashed on a daily basis for being firemen.
Who says?
now it's bashes them all the time.
Who says?
They're not.
Who
They're not.
says?
Everybody loves a fireman.
Who says?
Everybody loves
Who
firemen.
says? Who says?
They have their own calendar.
But
My point is my point still remains.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you make your choices and you live with them. Am I saying that artists should not feel?
I didn't say you didn't say that.
No. I'm not saying you did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying should artists not be able to express themselves? Of course, that's where your artistry comes into play. I'm just saying, for me, certain artists should realize their brand and their worth, and should never address it. You never hear certain artists do certain things. Maybe in interviews makes a little bit more sense. But music, and then after music and after music, for me, I just feel like artists like MJ, fucking all of these people should never feel the need when you're secure and you know how you moving, how you giving it up.
But he says that in one of his songs. He says, I've eaten enough. My belly should be full, but I'm still licking the plate.
Which is fine. I get that. But at some point, maybe you need to get up and walk away from the table.
I mean, people, anything that deals with art, people are gonna always take it personally because whatever they create, people hold on to too much. I always tell people, if you really want to adapt and change, don't be so in love with something that you can't have the ability to change or to make it better or to switch it up. That's a lot of the time. That's a big problem a lot of time with people who deal with art. Or even creatives, they get so in love with the concept that when someone gives them criticism or even constructive criticism, it's hard for them to change because they're like, no, this is it. This is the best thing. But it may not be. They may not be critical enough to determine if this is really good or if this is something that's going to work. I also think that we're in a period of time where criticism and constructive criticism are like melted into each other. Like people aren't able to tell the difference. I think that if you have a critical analysis of an album and people say they don't like it, then that's it. You shouldn't take it personally. But I think because, like I said, people keep their projects, they keep their art close to them and love it so much that they take it as a personal thing.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be ever a personal thing. Like when people criticize, people criticize business people, yeah, they may get upset, but what did they do? Okay, what can I do better?
And that's my thing. That's my only point. When you're in any type of entertainment, anything like that, that comes with the terms. There's no way to take it back. There, you can't.
When you're a public figure, not even music. When you're a public figure,
Dave Chappelle said that. You know, you can get famous, but you can't get unfamous. Once you get famous, and not to say that you even strive for it, maybe that you just fell into it, right? But once you get it, you gotta adjust. You have to. There's no way about it. You can't get unfamous. You can't control what people think. You can't try to acquiesce to what people even have to say about you. The only thing that you can do is just be the best version of you. That's it. That's it. And especially for people of like M, he needs to. If I'm M, I would just take a step back even more. I would take a step.
Nah, man, call them all up and say, let's freestyle.
I like that he called them
You
out.
too, Charlemagne.
What I'm saying is this: when you feel like you have to resort back to your old ways when you should be growing. For me, I just think that maybe it's time to take a step back.
When you put it that way, I agree. Because then that's kind of like,
You've
not
worked.
progressing. Yeah,
You
you did all
worked
that,
so
and then you're going
hard to
backwards.
go back.
Yeah.
Why?
So
Allow
I
me
can
to
see it when you put it
reintroduce
that way.
myself. My name is Hove.
And then he dropped 444.
Yeah, but he said you could still smell the coke on my sleeve.
But that, come on, we talking about the message. You doing one line. You doing one line.
That's what y'all doing. Y'all picking out one line.
Yeah, no, we're picking out bodies of work. There's a difference there. And if you want to reference Hove, how many times has Hove changed himself over decades? I can name it. I can name drug dealer Hove. I can name businessman Hove. I can name change clothes Hove. I can name drug dealer Hove again, but more wise Hove. And then I can name
Hubby-
But he's still a
Hubby
drug
Hove.
dealer.
and then I can
But
name
he's still a drug dealer.
and then I
Daddy
can-
Hove.
And then I can name Hubby Hove.
Daddy Hove.
Then I can name
Pause.
then I can name
Pause. You said
I
that.
can say that though.
Listen, I don't care. I'm making a point. That's my point. He's reinvented himself so many times that he can. And I feel like M can reinvent himself. Now, whether or not he wants to or not, or whether he feels like he needs to, that's a whole other conversation. But when I think body of work, the body of work is good. I agree with you. I don't dislike the project. There's a few records on here that I like a lot. But I want to hear more from him. I want to hear more from him. He mentioned how, when he did the BET cipher and people didn't take to him standing up for what he believed, that maybe he shouldn't have done it. Maybe he shouldn't have done it. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But that doesn't, I'd rather that try. I'd rather that try versus going back to the old. Like, I hate when people overthink it. And while he says he didn't overthink this project, I think that he did overthink it because of the fact that now he's addressing all of these people and wanting to let's clear all this up. He doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need to do it. He doesn't. M is solidified at least in my book. I don't know how anybody else feels. For me, M is solidified, my nigga. Like, M fucking changed hip hop across the board. He changed hip hop.
You're not gonna get any argument on me on that one. I was an Eminem fan.
This is all I have to say. Every market changes. Music changed. Media changed. Even now we got freaking different kind of currencies. Change. Like, you either adapt and adjust or you die. AKA, you get left behind.
Yeah.
Like, so that's another thing too, is like, I don't understand why people constantly complain about different things. People, same way that artists complain about music, media people complain about media changing. Well, guess what? Shit changed. You either change with it and adapt to it, or you get left behind.
Yeah.
Whether you're a legend or not, you're going to get left behind. Do you know how many legendary journalists got removed from their jobs just because they didn't really know social media?
Probably
You
a lot.
have to adjust.
Yeah.
So that, like, for me, that's why I'm like, I don't know. I get kind of tired where people are like, oh, well, this is the music. Well, this is what it is.
Yeah.
You can find a change. You can adjust. You need to figure it out. But you can't sit here and keep complaining because you're going to get left behind. And that's kind of how M is moving right now, as if he's getting left behind.
Yeah. And that's the scary thing for it, to see someone like M so talented and to sense fear from him.
That's what you sense from this album?
Yeah.
Fear?
Yeah, I do.
Well, like he's...
and not fear.
I felt like he was from the records you guys sent over to me. I thought he was just fed up. That's what I got from it. But my whole thing is with that, like she said, hip hop evolves, and I feel like this whole genre of littles, that's like an evolution of hip hop. That's their own genre, so you can't even be mad at it, like, because somebody's connecting with that.
It took me
Whether you like it or not, somebody likes it. Clearly,
It took me a long time to get to that place because I'm hip hop head. Like,
I don't like it. Like, I'm not a fan of it, but
That's what
I
I'm saying.
understand
I
that
understand it.
that's an expression of whatever. Like, that's how they're expressing themselves, and people connect with that shit. So
Yeah.
it's like you can't even be like, oh, this not hip hop. It is.
Yeah.
And they build their own fans without major media support and stuff like
so
that.
what does
you
that
can't-
tell you right there?
Yeah.
Like,
Can't get mad
people
at that.
obviously like that shit.
And even my fear statement is not to say that he's scared of anybody. That's
Well,
not
that's what
gonna
fear
be-
means.
That's not what I'm saying.
So
And you
what-
know-
so
and you
pick
know-
your- so pick
you
your
know
words.
That's not what I'm saying.
He's uncomfortable.
What I'm saying,
He's in an uncomfortable
Yeah, he's
position.
uncomfortable. Nas
Literal
knows
Nas.
he's just caping fucking M right now
Yeah.
and not keeping it a
Because,
buck. You're caping.
Because
You're
when
caping.
one of
You're
these
caping.
littles go at another little, it's hip hop beef. When Eminem goes at you, oh, you're picking on me. You're picking on me, sir.
He's the one that's saying it, not us. What are you talking about?
You're old. You're picking on
But
me.
when
M
you're
is the
talking
one
about,
that's saying
but
it.
even
I'm
even
confused.
Paul Skit, he literally said, "So you're gonna go at all these people just because of what they said about your project? I don't know if you should do this."
Yeah.
Paul said that in the skit.
I'm outside this house right now. I'll call you back. I don't get like you can't have it both ways. You can't say like, oh well, go battle this guy, and then Tyler Creator gives his opinion on Revival, so M answers back, and then you go, well, you can't. You're too
missing
big.
it. You missing it.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck that he dissed them. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm for beef. We've said that. I'm for beef. I'm of the culture where if you have a problem and you're an artist, I'm dissing you. I'm cool with that. Don't complain about it. That's the difference. That is the difference. The same thing I said about Nicki, same thing applies to M. When you're on fucking Mount Olympus, you better act royal.
But he's never claimed to be a king.
Everyone's coming for
What
your
you
head.
mean? It don't mean he don't just because he don't claim to be king don't mean he ain't king.
But him and Nicki's situation is Nicki's I'm queen this, I'm queen that.
It don't matter.
And she's on and she's recognized as the top.
When you
does
are
not
a
matter.
Jay,
He's recognized as the top.
Which is my point.
No, I'm saying he's
he is. He is up there with Jay. He's up there with Lil Wayne. He's up
I
there.
don't even like him.
He is scratching. He is in a fucking room full of water, scratching for the last corner of air right now. That's what Nas is doing.
One of his songs,
One of
his songs literally created a term.
Yes.
Stan.
What are you talking about?
My gosh,
That's why I'm cleaning out my fucking closet with you right now. Like, what are you talking about? He knows. He's just trying to get under my skin.
It's them shoes. They don't match the shirt.
Yeah.
Chill. You got on the 9 to 5 threes right now. You got on the 9 to 5 threes right now.
They're working better than your outfit, though.
Man.
Come on, E.
So that's my point. I'll talk to you, Shan. And Aaron, am I talking to you?
Oh my God.
That's my point. You're on Mount Olympus, my nigga. You're like, just rap. I don't care if you diss people. I don't care. I really don't. But don't be mad when you're critiqued. Don't be mad when shots come your way in another form. I think artists now have to be prepared for not the lyrical onslaught, but the audio onslaught and the written onslaught. You got to be prepared for it. That's not my only beef. I don't. That's my only beef. That's it. Anything else?
You're picking on me.
Yeah,
I think I've said this before.
I'm in this genre. I'm in trap music.
I think I've said this before, and I think I'll say it again.
Yeah.
Nah, shut the fuck up, man.
Yeah, I mean, my last thing is just like, it's one thing if he wanted to have this be a music beef, but the fact that he purposely had people who are media people in there, it's just, it looks like, I don't know, it looks weird to me. Like, especially having that one song where you literally put every single person's name in that just looks weird to me.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I get the strategy, but a little weird.
I get it, but if you're gonna really do a beef, then do it, but don't make it this obvious about why you're putting all these people's name in a track specifically. Like,
I agree.
Because then it feeds back to what Joe was saying about utilizing things for marketing purposes and not really talking about those things any other time.
Yeah. I am just, for me, he just doesn't have to do this. He doesn't. But all right. On to more pressing matters. Kanye seems a little bit more sane. And I know that's a relative term, but it is relative.
Man's going through it.
The reason why. Did you guys catch his last interview that he did?
Yep.
What radio?
First
station?
of all,
It was
they
in
gotta
Chicago.
They gotta let that man talk.
Yeah.
They interrupted that interview way too many times.
That was my thing. That was my only thing. I felt like every time he was getting to good points and being able to let you express how he was feeling, especially given all of the Trump stuff, the MAGA hats, or how he was feeling just as a whole, I thought was great. I thought the woman that was that was asking questions.
She didn't even try to transition. You know how like some news reporters, they may talk to someone and be like, "So I heard you do crack."
Yeah,
like that's how she was going at it with the questions. I was like, "Yo, no transition, whatever." She just was like, "All right, but."
She's like, "Hey Kanye, I want to ask you something. You got mental health issues, mind you. 5 minutes
I just
prior
want to clarify.
5 minutes prior to, he said, I've been diagnosed with being bipolar. She said, "Hey Kanye, I meant to ask you that too. Are you diagnosed?" Kanye looked up like, "Nigga, I just said I got a problem."
Yeah, he did a side too.
And 5 minutes prior to, I just said, now that I know that, I understand that little things can set me off, like stupid shit. Yeah. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nigga. Stop asking me these dumb questions.
She heard him, but she wasn't listening.
Yeah, like but I get it too, because if you watch the interview, she had an ulterior motive as well. She was affected by the Kanye shit,
Yeah.
by the
slavery
slavery comment. So I get it. I sympathize with her, but I just thought that
Her homegirls hyped her up in the text like, "Yo, you interviewing Kanye today?
yeah, but between
you better ask him."
between the interruptions and between that now going into Kanye, I think he expressed himself a little bit more. I'm happy that he finally apologized though.
Was an apology?
I don't think it was. Because from the clip that I saw, he said, I wanted to apologize for the way I made you guys feel.
Correct.
That is not an apology.
I'm rolling with that. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Kanye. Yeah.
Let me tell you why. The only reason why is because if I'm a big believer on this, huge believer on this. If I tell you my truths, I'm sorry if you feel a way that it makes you feel a way.
I mean, I understand that, but what I'm saying is they're framing this as if he apologized for the comment. That is the way the media is framing this. He did not apologize for that comment. He apologized for how the comment made us feel.
He did. He did.
So
But
why is being framed as if he apologized? I don't understand that.
because he's unapologetically himself. That's what I got from the interview. I'm not saying I don't justify that. I'm not justifying it. What I'm saying is I understand that because I'm big on that. Like if I say I don't like something, like even the M shit, M could come back and be like, "Nigga, fuck you." Like, M, I'm sorry I made you feel that way, but these are my truths.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I don't agree with it.
Yeah,
I don't agree with it.
I think in the interview, like I don't know who talked to him or whatever, but he definitely added more context to make it a little more understanding. What he was saying that he's not saying from a historical standpoint. He's saying that because he's Kanye, he feels that that's a choice in terms of allowing essentially white people to program black people to feel a certain way or for certain things. What was the other thing he said? But mostly he says that we are programmed daily on many things. We're programmed to feel a certain way about certain things. We're programmed to be a certain way that, and he says a lot of times, like, he's like, why should black people be one way? He said, he basically insinuated that there are people, more specifically white people, on both sides that are programming black people to be a certain way.
Yeah.
And he essentially kind of like wants to
Break that mold.
and to free that conscience in a sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's for other people or not, but for him, he wants to free that conscience. Now, I will say though, like, I'm not letting him off the hook, but he definitely contextually made things make a little more sense. Like this Kanye seemed like he had more sense than the past one.
The clearest Kanye we've had in a while.
Yeah, like even when he was asked certain questions, and he even answered the question about Trump, even though I don't agree with it, but he did answer that in a way where it didn't seem like he was like, I don't know. It just didn't seem crazy like what he did before.
If I'm keeping it a buck, even with that Trump shit, I feel like that was a conversation that he had with Trump. Trump shared that with him. Mm-hmm. And I think that was more so Trump's response on black people.
Probably.
Because of the way that Kanye framed it up, he was like, I think he feels like he wants black people to like him and be in their best interest. And he's going to show that. I think that him and Kanye clearly have something going on. Kanye hinted a lot at working with Chicago and a lot of good things coming on there. He did finally admit to the fact that he felt like that with the woman getting out of jail with that Kim Kardashian worked with, that part of him putting on the MAGA hat was to kind of anchor that into working and getting some sort of backing. Not justifying it, but that's what happened. And
he also, we all know Kanye for his uncheckable ego. He basically said that he needs to be checked.
That was my thing.
At the TMZ, for the TMZ part, he was like, he's like, after he apologized, he's like, I didn't have anyone there to stop me. Now, of course, some people may say, well, what about some of the TMZ people? That's different. He didn't have anyone in his camp that stopped him because he says they looked at him as a money-making opportunity. He didn't have someone that looked at him for his well-being and him. They're like, well, because everyone else is making money, the way that they look at him is like, okay, well, this is making money. Huh.
Yes,
so he even said,
yes,
he essentially, referenced that like he needed to be checked, but that's why he also brought up Don C.
But that's the other thing too. He even talked about he went and reevaluated like how he was moving after the TMZ shit, and he went and got a PR person to do training with him on obviously media training and media etiquette. And he said he was talking to the woman, and after they had their whole lesson, he said to him and Kim asked her like, "Hey, how did you feel about my statements?" And she wasn't bothered, and he was bothered because she wasn't bothered, and he was like, "Well, what do you mean?" And then she was like, "Oh, well, I mean, I guess I really am." Moral of the story is he felt like, well, I need people around me now that will know when I'm saying some shit that's wrong, not to just feed me bullshit just for a check. I'm not mad at that. And that's for me, this interview from Kanye probably was the most clearest one I've seen, even though it was all over the place, and even though it wasn't as structured as a lot of the other ones that we've seen with Charlemagne and all the other ones.
Yeah.
But when we talk from a concise perspective, I actually understand his points. Even with the MAGA shit, do I agree? No, I don't agree. But he's just simply saying, yo, I love everyone. He's just about love. I love everyone. Trump, Obama, Clinton, even all these bad people. He's like, my only goal now is to lead with love. Even when he talked about Drake, he was like, fucking, we'll reconcile. We have bigger things to accomplish. I don't agree with anything that happened. I'm not involved in it, but me and him have to reconcile. You can see that he's on some love shit.
And he said that politicians are politicians. They all are not great.
Yeah.
And you only see certain things at times. So, I agree. This is probably the most concise. I'm starting to understand him more. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think this kind of goes back to what we always talk about having the right people on your team
100%.
to keep you in check. As long as you have someone on your team that can keep you in check and help you convey whatever message you want, it'll make sense. Like if this Kanye came out first, I don't think people would have as much of a problem.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
I think this goes back to what you were saying earlier, as far as some people don't need platforms to say these type of things. Like, I don't think he should have that platform to be able to spur some of the shit he says. Because one of the things he said was...
Shan will not put the mic down.
I'm sorry. He said he doesn't read. He said something about the whole he follows his spirit and he doesn't read books. Like, why do you have a platform? Like, why do we even invest in this nigga? Because if you don't read, my nigga, like, you don't know shit about your history. Yeah. Like, what?
But, well...
Which makes every fucking thing he said null and void. Dog, you don't even read.
Bound to drizzle.
Like...
I'm rolling with you. I'm rolling. I don't have a defense.
Shit, it's just like, okay, you
when
don't
that
read
was
those.
said, I was kind of like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I was like, okay. But if I'm keeping it a buck, just from Kanye now till, back then, Kanye will say certain things to throw you off, to make it seem like he is...
Super troll.
Yeah.
He said that, though. He said, I'm a troll. I'm the biggest troll there is.
Yeah, he's
like
the
that.
biggest troll. And he will say things that will throw you off to make it seem like he is being empowered by... He's touched by God. He's being a prophet, and he'll make you think that. In having conversations with him and observing them, obviously, he says certain things that are very uplifting and very forward thinking, that would make you think that he is enlightened, knowledge-wise, books-wise, but he frames it as, no, I'm found, I'm woke, I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm not. For a minute, I was with you when he said that. I was like, huh?
Yeah, that just totally turned me off from the rest of it.
Yeah,
like,
I was like, nah, I'm not rolling. You didn't just wake up like, oh shit, this is what's happening in the world. We gotta fix it. Like, I'm not rolling. But concise interview. I'm happy he did it too, and I like that it was done in Chicago, his hometown. I think that I do think that whatever he's cooking up with Trump or whatever, he's going to make it so that he is able to try to put Trump in a different light. I think
He's gonna try. He's not gonna work, but
well, I don't know that it's gonna work. I'm not saying it's gonna work. I personally don't think it's gonna work between Trump tweeting a whole bunch of ignorant shit during McCain's funeral, like all of it's not gonna work. So I don't know. But the moral of the story, even with Kanye, I think the Don C move is a good move, and I think we will see a different Kanye.
Yeah.
Like Don C was around the real good music. shit.
The real
Like,
Kanye?
yeah, like
The old Kanye.
yeah, like I think Don C, and I think that's why he reached out to Don C, or reached back out to Don C, is because Don C is one of the people that probably was giving it to him straight. And I think that he probably left that situation because he was giving it to him straight and he couldn't take it no more. He wanted to kind of venture off and do his own shit.
Yeah. I also think that like whatever message Kanye's trying to give out, I think it's just the wrong time.
Yeah.
Like we are so divided and it's so polarized to the point where people aren't really trying to listen to anyone. You know, maybe if he did this pre-Trump, maybe he would have gotten more traction with whatever he's trying to do. But I think just right now we're in such an environment where, you know, the closet racists are now showing their racism side.
Yeah.
There's people that are doing crazy things that, you know, sometimes people only hear in whispers, but now they're actually doing it. And like, I just think that like, it's good and bad. Trump going to office opened up and made things way more transparent than it's been within politics for a while. But there's good and bad with that. I just think that right now, like Kanye has to understand like where things are, and you have to be realistic. You can't just be like, "Oh, love it, peace, let's all hug it."
Yeah.
Like you have to be realistic because
No
not
kumbaya
everyone
shit.
is on that tip.
Yeah.
Not everyone's
What-
on that
People
tip.
aren't.
Cause y'all both on the same wave. You not feeling it. You not feeling it. What does Kanye have? You said no. What does Kanye have to do to get back into your good graces?
He can't do nothing for me at this point. I don't even care. Like, I don't care. It gets like when you see so much bullshit from somebody, you just, all right, you good.
Who hurt you?
Nobody hurt me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, I feel like we as a culture put too much of our, like, we invest too much of our emotion, our thoughts, and everything into these celebrities. For what? Kanye didn't raise me. I don't give a fuck what he talking about.
Okay. No,
It's
I'm
like,
rolling.
you
Straight
know what
like
I'm saying?
that.
So it's like he done say so much bullshit where it's like, all right, he's good. He can stay right where he at. And I pray that he grows and gets better, but I don't care no more.
Yeah.
He's lost to me.
Make another hit, man.
Yeah, I was about to say, all it takes is a record for you. You
Yeah.
like
Make another hit,
that
man.
fucking grassroots
And
shirt
even
to turn
now,
into a
I'm glad you said
Yeezy
that, 'cause
shirt
another
real quick.
thing, with this whole Kanye thing that I saw, a lot of people were saying he was canceled, but like he produced for all these people. When that whole little 5 album thing he did, and everybody's listening to that, y'all didn't even cancel him. So it's just like, cause y'all listening to it, y'all supporting it, so you're still
Fake
supporting
woke.
him essentially.
Well, in the defense of I guess I'll speak for the masses. A lot of people supported that music because of the fact of the artist. Like we wanted to see, Push win. We wanted to see Tiana win. We wanted to see how Cudi was doing. You haven't heard from him in so long, especially dealing with drugs and depression. I think that's what it was, and that's why I don't think that people would cancel them in unison with Kanye. A lot of people, you didn't, at least on my timeline, at least what I read, a lot of people really didn't fuck with Kanye's project. A lot of people didn't, and not just because of the music, but just because of
what was going on.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it was. To Erin's point, though, messaging wise, had this come out first, I think that would have all of that would have been done differently. Like he was talking about being attacked, and throughout this whole thing, and having sympathy. People should have sympathy for people that have mental health. Then he goes to Wyoming and still feels attacked of sorts, and can never be himself. So let's say if we take this out, let's say we put this recent interview as a TMZ interview, I don't know that all of this now unfolds. I think at least with context now, that I don't know that people would bash him the way that they do.
People would disagree, but I don't think they would have been like, "Oh my God, Kanye is ruining this."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think that I think it would have created a dialogue, which is what he wanted to do initially, but the way that he did it, like I said, execution is everything.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
if he had this one first, it would have been whole different. And also, like, cancel culture is
my God,
bullshit,
I'm so
man.
tired of cancel culture.
Cancel
It's so
culture is
temporary.
not real. It is
Told
like
you.
the boogeyman. Nobody
It's
is
so
getting canceled.
temporary,
R.
yeah.
Kelly hasn't even been canceled yet. Ain't
No,
canceling.
Robert's on the way out. They trying to get Robert
But do you know
out of
how
here.
long it's taken to get Robert canceled?
It's a process.
Doesn't he have a
Listen,
tour?
It's a
Cancel
process.
culture.
I'm just telling you.
This is what cancel culture is. Ready? Cancel culture is when a boyfriend and girlfriend, or same whoever, I don't know what your background is, but whatever it is, they get upset, they fight, they break up, and then the girl goes to her girlfriend and says, "Nah, I'm done with him. I'm done with him." Next day, you see them rolling in the car together.
100%.
That's what cancel
100%.
culture is. Like, nobody
100%.
really gets canceled.
You know what it is, though? I think, and this goes back to your point, which was a really, really good point, that artists are normally, or not artists, I'll say fans are so engulfed in artists that they lose the fact, like, why are we so vested in them? I think society is so vested in people, like celebrities.
And I think that's weird.
It is.
It
It
is.
is. It is.
Yeah.
It is weird. It is weird.
It's gonna
It is weird.
backfire crazy.
It will eventually, but I think that because
Can't wait. I'm gonna laugh.
people are so invested in these public figures, they don't know how to detach themselves. So like even when Van spazzes out on Kanye, I thought it was dope just because he was a fan. Like he'd been a fan for years, expressing he was hurting. He was like, I can't fuck with you no more. That was the one turning point, where it's like, all right, maybe things are changing, but then obviously everyone comes back. Regardless, though, I don't think there'll ever be a point, and we talked about it on the show a while ago, but I don't think there'll ever be a point where people aren't vested into public figures to where they're totally canceled, with the exception of like, I don't know, like Bill Cosby or like fucking, like it's the extreme.
But you still have a group of people who support Bill Cosby. These are like I said episodes ago. All these cats, they're fake. They're semi woke.
Yeah.
They're all this. I'm woke as fuck. Shut the fuck up. You're not woke.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, man.
What they're
have
trying
your
to
little
say is they
fucking
got out of bed today.
Yeah.
Huh?
And they're awake.
Go have your little protest, your little kumbaya,
Yeah.
your fucking mint tea, and shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I'm rolling with you. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I'm rolling with
Man, if someone can blow up the earth, ain't nobody getting canceled.
you. Yeah, I don't think so either. I'm not rolling. I guess do we care about Kevin Gates not feeling Kaepernick kneeling?
That's not what he said.
Yeah.
That's not what he said.
I'm just telling you what the headlines read. bro.
he suggested another way of doing
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
like
But
he says, stand and pray. You don't have to kneel.
yeah,
have an
but
issue
I want to hear why do you have
Yeah.
an issue with it?
It goes back to when I used to do a podcast. This actually was a topic when the Black Lives Matter protests were going on in Jersey, and I just feel like, why are we telling people how protests should look or how they should protest? Like, if that's how they feel they want to protest, then that's right for them. So if you feel like you don't need to kneel or whatever because of your religious beliefs, then that's cool for you. That's how protest looks for you. But you do not have the right to tell somebody this is how you're supposed to protest. You shouldn't protest like that. You should protest like this. Like, why? Who are you?
That was my issue with it.
Yeah, like-
that was my issue with it.
yeah,
Like,
mine was honestly mine was the religion factor of it. I think, like you were saying, I think when it comes to religion, it's one thing if you, if someone asks and you want to bring it up, or someone asks you a question and you talk about it. But I don't think it's good to ever try to force some religious aspect on someone.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever good to do that.
especially when I think it's still for a good cause. You know what I'm saying? Like he's fighting for something bigger than us, more important than us. So to kind of, I feel like that message, I feel like it aids the issue that we have now, and that's just standing up for each other, regardless of anything. That could easily be the Malcolm and Martin situation, but y'all still have the same goal. I don't think this is the time to criticize how you're going about this. Like this is just not the time. It's just back to your point again. Just bad execution.
He didn't. I don't think he was forcing religion on him. He
wasn't, but he inputted his opinion. Nobody asked for it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, congratulations. That's what you would do.
Yeah.
Great for you.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's forcing, but it can come across as if he is forcing his religion onto him. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Colin didn't ask for that advice. It's one thing if he asked or he said like he had a conversation, and that I think when it gets into religion, there's certain topics that like you got to be careful with how you present it and how you execute it. Religion is one of them, and so is politics.
Well, what if one of Kevin Gates' fans asked him in his comments, "What do you feel about Colin Kaepernick and his kneeling?" And that was his answer, and then somebody edited it and said, "Well," and it started off with, "I don't think he should be kneeling," and now it looks like he's just suggesting something, but he could be answering somebody.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't factor that in, but in my story that didn't happen. And and Kevin Gates is out here wilding, telling niggas how to live their life.
He's not.
But no, I'm rolling with you.
Yeah.
That
If
is
he
a good
did, that's
point.
a
I didn't
that's
take that
another
into
way.
consideration. So, and media definitely does do that. Not us though. We're great. But
No, I know you didn't. That's why I had to
outside of
pump your brakes.
okay, all right. Don't get ahead of
Pump the
yourself.
brakes,
Don't get ahead of
alright.
yourself. You know. But no. I agree with that. I guess to the fans, viewers, listeners, let us know what you think about all these topics. I'm not gonna run them down like we normally do because there's so much going on in the world today. But let us know your points with everything with Kanye. This is why I'm not gonna run them down because I always get weird here.
Nasty Pastor,
yeah, the
Cosby
nasty-
Star,
yeah,
Eminem
definitely.
album review, Kanye apologized, Kevin Gates what?
And let us know if you rolling with Nas on the Nasty Pastor shit. I want to know your thoughts.
Yo, fam.
See how I set you up? See how I
Why'd
set you
you
up?
frame it like
See how I
that?
set you up?
Pervert Pastor versus Nasty Nas.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not verses.
No, you're definitely with the
Marvel versus Capcom.
Gosh.
yeah, but
not
check
that
us out.
guy's intention.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's let the fans decide. Check us out. Thank you to our guests. Thank you for coming on.
Yes.
I kept butchering your name, which I really tried not
fine.
to. But
It's the
Everybody
thing.
that's like, Yan.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not Yan.
yeah,
Yan.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Yan. But but thank you for coming on. We appreciate you. Check us out, actually, Grassroots Pod on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. The group me chat will be in the description on the YouTube page, as well as our merchandising link, which will be ending soon. So hint, hint, wink, wink, urgency is needed there. Nas is wearing the shirt. Not good because it's not matching, but he's wearing it.
Can't see my shoes.
And on top of it, there was something else I wanted to say.
Go get checked. All right, go.
No, you
get
go get checked.
I'm good. I'm
Yeah, Jan,
good.
where can you be found? I wanted to say that. Where can you be found?
You can find me on Twitter at Yan Blaze, so YANBLAZE.
Okay.
And then my Instagram is Yan Sneed, YANSNEAD.
That's a lot of spelling. Okay,
Yeah,
just
it's-
rewind it back, guys. And, or we'll put closed captioning on this shit or something like that.
Oh yeah, but when you leave your comments, please leave a timestamp. Let us know what you
That's
think
what it
about
was.
specific parts. I got you.
That's my fucking
I got you. I got you.
You my boy, Blue. Fucking boy.
Imagine
And
that
I'm wearing
Tommy
blue,
for telling
too.
people to go get tested. Yeah, scumbags. for
You're
that.
still there. You see what I'm saying? We just we talked
What are you
about
talking
progression on
about?
this show.
Yo.
We talked about moving forward, and here you go.
STDs are up.
First of all,
for the past 4
first of all,
years.
It's on some old
I
nigga shit.
definitely said wrap it before you tap it like 10 episodes ago. Before
Definitely.
that STD news came out.
But that's what I'm saying. We just had
Stop
this,
it, man.
We just
Stop
had this
it.
whole long conversation
Stop it.
about moving forward and elevation. That was like 12 minutes ago. And
Fair.
you got to stop living in the past, dog.
The only claps we get around here is applause.
You know what I mean?
According to the statistics, that's not true.
Well, first off, it's statistics, not statistics.
Hold up, B.
I'll cancel you now.
And I know my name is Erin Ashley Simon.
Oh, really, y'all?
Come on, hurry up, let's end it, damn it.
What?
That's Jan Blaze. We're out of this bitch. We out of here.
Grassroots.